Howdy, thanks for checking this out. I'm going to start a weekly sonar walkthrough of how I use my onboard the vessel sonar to target bass and get the best bass I can. I want you to become a better fisherman, and I want you to get big, huge bass. I want you to be that guy who's going to win the tournaments or however you fish, or maybe just get that one you've always wanted to go after. Today I'm going to be focusing on the pre-spawn. It's still pretty much pre-spawn everywhere. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of how the pre-spawn works too much. You can go ahead and kind of research that otherwhere. I don't want to start too many. I want to start arguments with that stuff. But we're going to talk about where they're at and how to catch them. Focusing on larger bass. We could beat the banks and catch small ones all day, or we could target the larger ones and get them. I've got video of the catches and pictures as well, so I'm backing up what I'm talking about here. I know what I'm talking about. And watch this. Watch how your sonar works and how to use it. This isn't purposeful recording, so I'm not recording in a manner that looks pretty. That's not the goal here. I'm not here to sell you the fancy unit and show you the prettiest pictures because, well, I'm fishing. So go ahead and get started here. We're going to talk about small lakes. This is technically a lake. It should be a pond, but regardless of that, we're going to fish it. I'm going to show you what I caught, and I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. This particular lake is 89 acres. I had my side imaging on. No real reason to. I've been here plenty of times before. We're going to go ahead and walk through this. I'm going to go ahead and push play. And right here I have where my cursor is standard sonar. Over here I have my down imaging, and then I have side imaging. A little bit about this lake. The returns look like crap. Well, great. There's so many weeds in here. Or let's say vegetation. Average depth is 10 foot, and we're going to have anywhere between 5 and 7 foot of vegetation. There's some small, shallow spawning areas, but we're going to focus on the larger bass. They're getting kind of to the point where they're moving in to the spawning areas, and if we want to catch the larger ones, especially in a pond, they're not going to spawn in the shallows. I know what you're thinking. You know, bass always spawn in the shallows. Well, when it comes to catching the big ones, they don't spawn in the shallows. They're going to spawn in 8 to 10 feet, and sometimes deeper. I know it goes against everything you've heard before, but the older ones get kind of weird. So we're seeing a lot of arches here. Definitely fish. Did not show up on my unit. That's fine. Today we're using Reef Master. It's much better at interpreting the sonar data, and we get a picture that is not as clear and not as pretty as what the unit is going to put out, but it's far more accurate. If you have a Lawrence or a Humminbird, it's definitely it can take any file you can record. So while expensive, I do recommend this. So we're going to drive around, and I want to point out something. Now, I started a lot of arguments about this, not intentionally, but I have. If you're in a small lake that's shallow, turn your sonar off. You don't need it. You don't need it at all. You're going to fish the points. You're going to fish the areas that are slightly deeper off the points. to fish the structure. So the first time you go out to the lake, yeah, leave it on. Find the structure. Side imaging data here, it looks like crap. I get it. The boat's moving around a lot. There's so much vegetation it can't really penetrate through. You can see some, like right here, possibly a tree stump. This lake was natural. It was a natural puddle, but it was really kind of dug up to be a golf course lake. And many of y'all know that golf course lakes often produce large bass, and there's a ton of fish in here that you can see. Now, we can skip through here and see everything that, man, this just did not appear. Doesn't matter, didn't catch them. Came through here, kept going through here, didn't find anything worthwhile. I was fishing the vegetation. Types of lures you want to use in this environment in the pre-spawn. Something noisy. I was using a spinnerbait, Colorado blade, real dark. The water's clear, but I'm still using a dark bait. They tend to go for it. I don't know what it is about the dark bait, but even in clear water, they don't say no. Caught a couple small ones in this area. But we'll go ahead and pause this and we'll skip to this area. When I back out here on this cursor, let me turn off the side imaging. You can see there's an island right here. There's a point off the island. Around here, there's 6 foot of water, 6 to 10 foot. There's a lot of tree stumps here. There's a lot of vegetation surrounding the tree stumps, so my two standard sonars, or my down imaging and standard sonar, the vegetation just soaks it up. It's pointless. So learn your lake, learn the area. You know that larger one, she's going to spawn in a deeper area. Not always, but most likely. And sonar's not really useful here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you the one I caught right there.
Yeah. What time is it?
No,
what time we got? It's like
wrong one. Right here, off the point, 6 foot of water, far away from the spawning beds, where the more junior bass are prone to spawn. Just shy of 5 pounds. Spinnerbait, Colorado blade, black and red. Really good early spring spawn type bait. They're hungry. It's been cold. Can't say no to a big meal. A lot of fun to catch, and man, my buddy, he wasn't happy about that. Also, he doesn't know how to press record. I did a whole walkthrough of what I did when I caught it, and on my camera, he didn't push record. He's a hillbilly. Anyway, small lakes, small ponds. Learn the structure the first time you're out there. Turn off your sonar. Focus on where you know the fish are going to be. Give them a bait they can't say no to. Be a fisherman that day. Treat every cast like you intend on catching a large one, and do it. That's what it comes down to. Let's get into another lake here. This is a Long Pond in Connecticut. Go ahead and start this here. Side imaging, sandy bottom on the main side of the lake. Some hard returns over here. Down imaging is actually showing some fish. I could probably get this one to show it as well. It's a trophy trout lake. It's kind of stocked with the breeders. A lot of guys come out here and troll for trout. You can definitely see in the deeper parts of the lake, plenty of arches, plenty of large trout. I'm not trout fishing today. It's pre-spawn. This lake is about this lake was about 54 degrees. not really a good temperature, but they're still going to be active. We're going to kind of skip through here, skip around. There's an interesting, unique feature to this lake, and there is a small pond attached to it that feeds into this lake. Keep skipping. Plenty of arch. Man, look. I don't know what that was. Maybe some line floating in the water, but that's a huge arch. Lots of fish. Seeing them here. Once again, they didn't show up on my unit. We're going to take the boat. Oh, damn it. Take the boat to the small pond. Let's watch on the side imaging the lake change. Now, you got to have less than a foot draft to get it here, and a trolling motor that's capable of operating it. Pretty much half the blades in the water just to dig through this. Took my buddy's son out. He caught a pretty big trout out there last year. He's a big fan of this lake. A real junior bass fisherman. He wants to learn how to become a better one. So I told him, I was like, hey, let's go in 10 foot of water. Let's get in the vegetation and let's find some structure. So you can never go wrong with structure. Focus on the structure. Find the structure with your imaging. Once you know where it's at, turn it off. It's pretty much pointless at this point. You can see we're going through the tunnel. Water column got super thin, almost non-existent. You can see on the other sonars a couple fish over here hanging out above these rocks. There's a highway that goes over, and people fish that area right there. So there's plenty of bait and whatnot getting pulled in. So you will find some larger fish. Now we're out of the tunnel and tons of vegetation. This time of year, if you're not pulling up salad, you're probably not going to catch a big one. I know you don't like cleaning that stuff off your hooks, but don't worry about it. Fish the vegetation where the bait fish are. You know the bait fish are hiding there. Fish it. Get a big one. If you have questions about what you're seeing on the sonar, I have other videos that detail that completely. This isn't one of those videos, so if you already know what you're looking at, then this is for you. Probably should have said that earlier. Anyways, so we start fishing. We're fishing through here, and about this point, I'm going to pause this. I want to point out something. Man-made structure. This pond right here, turn off the side imaging. This pond is attached to the main lake. This is Long Pond, or they call it a pond. It should be called a lake. This state. Anyway, this pond is attached to Long Pond, and hillbillies live over here. A lot of degraded houses and a lot of docks that haven't been that are very neglected. Well, there's one large dock that is broken up. It is floated. It is over here, and it creates a ton of structure right next to vegetation and then a deeper water runoff. You can see right here, I was all over the place. I anchored here. We swang back and forth. And let's check out once again, noisy bait, big bait, something they can't say no to. Fishing for big fish. I mean, you guys are good at jigging small stuff. You could probably pull them out of there. I'm not fishing fast, but I'm not fishing for small stuff either. So once again, a half ounce spinner bait, Colorado blade, red and black. The fella I was fishing with, the young fella, he was using all black. He'd never fished with a spinnerbait before, and this was his first fish that is over 2 pounds. Go ahead.
Catch a big old bass and still.
Go ahead and he's a junior fisherman, so kind of excuse him a little bit.
Catch a big old bass and still playing on his phone. What's this telling me? No memory. Oh, it's got memory.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
I'll just get my camera.
Go ahead and pause this picture here. Right here is that old boat dock, and you can see it extends here. There's tons of broken up wood and associated structure that's buried in here. The water is roughly 6 to 10 foot, roughly 5 foot of vegetation. Plenty of bait fish in the area. There's trees. There's multiple changes in vegetation, even this early in the season. And fish this stuff. Don't worry about getting snagged up. Don't worry about pulling in the salad. Fish it. Don't worry about getting the cleanest picture on your sonar either. That's just not going to happen.
Took him out. Windy day. Spinner bait. Right place, right time. Here. You know how to hook him?
Yeah. Right.
Do it on the backside of the gill. It'll hold a little bit more weight. Now, before you pull any strain on it.
Real quick pause here. You can see the vegetation. Lots of it.
I'm going to leave it slacked. Okay, you can just kind of hang him. Oh, well. 2.6. Here. Let's let him go.
Can I get a picture with him real quick?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me turn this off.
That was his first fish there. This was his second.
Second one, right?
Yeah.
How much you think that one weighs?
At least 3.
At least 3. Try to set the heater up.
Gonna have to excuse his hook removing skills. He's still learning.
No. Be nice.
There we go. Need some help there?
Quick tip: you're taking a junior fisherman out. Give him a trailer hook there, a second hook, a stinger. They don't always set the hook properly, and sometimes that stinger makes a difference and really builds up their confidence, and they'll catch things that they never would have caught before.
Right there, just like that.
Yeah, I know, but the way the hook is inside. Jenkins' mouth.
Well, there's only one way to learn.
Come on.
You got it. Stop. Let me take a look. Just like that. Buddy, let's weigh him. I'm going to show you how to do this without hurting them. Yeah, you can tear parts of their mouth up pretty easy by weighing them the wrong way. Okay, you can let the weight down.
He was really humble.
Look at that. 3.5. Holy smokes. Let me get you a photo. Oh, that is awesome. What's like it never happened. Awesome, awesome, awesome catch. Fishing off structure. And changing vegetation patterns. 8 foot of water. Lots of weeds.
Okay, that's his largest bass ever. He's pretty stoked. and then I think I beat him here. Maybe not.
I pushed record already since my other buddy didn't know how.
Is that recording?
Oh, whoa, Nelly. She ain't happy.
Is it already recording or
Yeah.
no? Alright.
It says record on it, don't it?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. Another one right off the structure. Now, am I going to beat you? Whoa!
I don't think so.
$3.134312. 3.13. Did I beat you?
Yeah.
How much?
Beating by 6 ounces.
6 ounces. Oh, dang. Look at that. Look at that. Good times, man.
So you guys fish at a tournament. Wow, let's say you reel those in. That could be a money maker for you. Let's get back into a little bit of the sonar that we have here. Let's show us leaving this. It's pretty interesting. Got a video to follow up with it. Tons of weeds here. Tons of weeds. 10 foot is, I know this says 7.75983. Anyway, you can see the very bottom of the hard return. I'm going to go ahead and call that the bottom. Or in the middle. So it's roughly 10 foot. Everything you see in this area is all weeds. Right here is the bank. It's coming in, hard return. We're about to go through that tunnel. It's really, man, it confuses the GPS, but the tunnel's pretty neat. Darkness is no return. This is made out of corrugated metal, so it gives a weird, funny return as you're going through here. It's going to come to a drop-off that we, if I was by myself or with another buddy, we would have fished this just because it's getting back into the main lake. There's a very large drop-off. You see a rock here, probably some vegetation here, some arches there, and man, definitely were some fish in there. I don't doubt it, but it may not have been what we're going for. Once again, this is a trout lake. So let's watch the video going through there. And you watch the sonar. Let's see what it looks like in person. I'm going to get a copyright strike for this, but I don't really give a shit. Quack!
Howdy.
There's some kids fishing on the bank, and boy, they got a kick out of me honking the horn there. Now let's get into some pork and beans here for your you guys that want to catch that big one you've always wanted to catch. Go ahead and shallow these up a little bit. We'll just shallow it. We'll see, 20. This is in Billings Lake. I've already done another video on this. One thing I want to point out, and this is for you guys on the larger lakes. You want to fish structure even in the weirdest spots during the pre-spawn. Like we talked about earlier, the larger bass are going to spawn in slightly deeper water. So they're still going to be around the structure that's isolated from everything. So leaving a bank here, I'm approaching an island in the middle of the lake. Unfortunately, it doesn't show up on the map program here, but it's a real thing. So, hard third here. Rocks, big rocks. We'll measure one here in a bit. Coming straight through. This is an extension off an island. Get a good picture of it here. Let's go ahead and pause this. Let's take some measurements. This new Reef Master program can do height and size. So you can do height from this side. So we've got this rock right here. Or you can do size. It's 5 foot wide, point to point. Over here, I can measure with a right-hand click its height. Roughly 2 foot high. And this is off a larger portion. You're often going to find that big bad bucket mouth hanging around these areas. So when you're driving through a lake, even in the spawn and pre-spawn, do not hesitate to fish these areas. It's going to be a little slow, but stick with me here. We got a rise, going over the rise. You can see some arches in the standard sonar. What appears to be an arch, but I'm going to call that a rock just outside the view of the sonar. Another large rock right here. 2 foot high. 1 foot wide. Vegetation. Some arches in front of the vegetation. Now, that was pretty plain. I'm not looking for the plain areas. I'm looking for those crazy ones where you're going to get snagged and you're going to catch vegetation and you're going to catch a big one. Oh, you're thinking. Now, this is all messed up because the boat's turning around. I think I anchored for a bit. We're going to keep zooming through till we get to the drop-off. Okay, we're getting into the interesting part here. We're leaving this area, but then I noticed these big rocks. This one is 4 foot tall. It's not very big. It's half a foot. 5 foot, or excuse me, 1 foot tall, 5 foot across, 4 foot across, 1 foot tall. You're not going to be able to take these measurements on the fly. Don't worry about that. Just use your imagination. You know, this sounds silly, but use your imagination. Use your experience learned. Tons of arches in this area. Once again, pre-season, noisy bait, or pre-spawn, noisy bait. I'm not, you know, they're not chilling out. They've got a goal to accomplish in the next few days. So I'm not gonna give them a bait that gives them an option to say no. I want them to have something that says, you know, I got to fill my stomach, and that is good looking. This one, yeah, this is the bad mamma jamma I caught right down there, possibly one of the arches you saw down there.
Yeah. What time is it? What time we got? Like 7:30 in the morning. Billings Lake. 8 foot of water. Spinner bait. Right place, right time. We're fishing that structure. Let's see how much she weighs. .2. I'm not gonna argue with that. Awesome.
So once again, another one over 4. Look, this is in Connecticut. I'm not in Florida. Not getting these giant ones. It's all the sonar we're going to go over. Look at what's on your screen. Interpret it for the particular moment you're in. And execute a plan. Make a plan, execute it. Don't say, "Oh, I'm going to throw that 8-inch trick worm that I threw all last summer." Oh, pull out that spinner bait, pull out that square bill, pull out something that, look at your tackle box and whatever grabs your eye. Well, it grabs your eye for a reason. Use it. And the most important thing I can tell you here is treat every cast as though you intend on catching that big one, because you never know if she's looking or not. Do that. Find the structure. Find the vegetation where the two meet. Work your lure. Work your bait. You're gonna get what you're going for. I know it sounds crazy. Don't focus on getting a good sonar picture. Focus on knowing how to read your sonar even when you're getting a bad picture. Watch one of my earlier videos if you don't understand how the sonar works. If you have any questions, shoot them my way. Hit you up. I've answered every question I've ever got. Some of them I've wrote 3 or 4 page emails to. Shoot me an email. You can do that through YouTube. Also, do me a favor. I work with a great group of guys that help disabled individuals go fishing and hunting. It's called Adapt Outdoors LLC. We have a webpage, adaptoutdoorsllc.org. Great guys. We're always looking for volunteers or donations, doing great things, and we're going to serve a lot of people over the next couple months. And these fish you see we're catching here, definitely get those guys out of the boat. I find these spots and I put them on a fish that they never thought they would ever get in their life. So the good things that you learn, focus on catching that big one. And yeah, thanks for watching.